The Canberra Weekender, Tech Talk with Alex Zaharov-Royt.
Who joins me on the phone now? Look, he's always travelling, but he's never too busy to make time for us. Alex, welcome.
G'day. Yes, hello, Tatjana. I was in Bangkok just hours ago. Didn't get much sleep on the plane, so I've been falling asleep here. But now I'm talking to you. I'm wide awake.
Fantastic. Imagine that. You were just like sleeping and I've just woken you up to do a segment. That would be fun. Where are you jaunting off to this weekend?
To Canberra from Sydney.
Oh, you're coming
Airport.
back. Oh, I thought you were
I'm coming back.
doing some more.
No, I was just in Bangkok for a Lenovo event, and actually I've published an article at my website, techadvice.life. I launched a whole stack of cool new PCs, including one that's got 2 screens, so you can unfold it like a book. You can fold it like a tent, so you can be looking at one side with one screen, and the person on the other side of the table looking at a presentation you're giving, for example, can see the other side of the screen. And instead of being one of those folding screens where the screen itself folds, I do remember showing you one of those a few months ago from a company called Asus. This is actually 2 separate screens joined by a hinge, and the hinge in the middle is actually a sound bar. So it doesn't matter which way you're holding it, the sound sounds fantastic. And it's got a stand, so you can actually have both screens either vertically, so one on top of the other, or you can have them side by side like 2 A4 sheets of paper, like in a sort of big book format. And they all come with the Intel Core Ultra chip. That's the new chip that has an AI brain inside. All the manufacturers are going to try and convince you to buy an AI PC, and there's a video there on that particular article at the top of my website where a guy from Intel goes through all the different benefits and all the speed increases. And, for example, right now we're talking on a thing on my iPhone called, and we've spoken about this before, called voice isolation.
Yeah, which makes it sound like you're just in a room on your own right now. Yeah.
That's right. And every now and then the speakers will blare that there's start blaring out that there's some sort of plane landing and you've got to be here, you've got to be there. And, that Beatles song that came out a few months ago, I think late last year or earlier this year, the John Lennon one, in the past, they could never separate the audio, but there was a demonstration in this Intel Core Ultra deep dive where somebody the guy's son wanted to sing along to this particular track, so he took 10 seconds of a track, and he was able to, just with a couple of clicks in this Audacity program called Audacity, he's able to isolate the music and also isolate the vocals. And it's just a couple of clicks. I mean, AI can do all sorts of incredible stuff. And so, your regular computer can do some of those things, but it will take a lot longer. The computers now have this dedicated chip. So there was gaming computers, there was laptops. One of the gaming computers actually has this hyper chamber inside. They managed to get it so that instead of the hot air venting out the left and right hand side, it vented out the back. It could get 2 degrees cooler and also 2 decibels quieter. And so it just means more frame rates, the computer not getting hot when you're playing these incredible games. And a PC is the most popular platform because it gets updated regularly, whereas your Xbox or PlayStation console normally lives for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And so, these all these PCs were very cool. They were launched in the Asia Pacific because we're living in the Asian century now. And I've got all the videos at my site. Check it out.
Fantastic. Now, this first story we're going to cover today is interesting to me because there's stats about how much we're hoarding phones, and I'm one of them. Like, I reckon I've got 2 or 3 phones, and the thing is, what stops me, and you're going to cover this, is that I have probably photos or things on there that I still want to get. I don't know if I can still turn it on or find the charger or whatever. And B, you want to get rid of those because obviously you worry about safety if you're going to recycle phones. So tell us about that.
Yes. Well, look, there are a staggering 22 million phones sitting in drawers, and nearly 14 million of those are reported as being unusable or not working. So, look, normally both the phones have a micro USB or a USB-C charging port. So you probably have one of those cables somewhere at home, or somebody will have one. You can also buy them quite inexpensively from Kmart or the other stores that advertise on the station. But Kmart's usually the cheapest place to buy those cables, and you can plug it in and try and charge it up and see if you can save the photos to a Google Drive or email them to yourself from Gmail, or just plug it into your computer and transfer them across by cable. But so there are instructions at a website called mobilemuster.com.au, set up by the Australian Mobile Telecommunications Association, and that website is now 26 years old, 25 years old last year. And I've got instructions there on how to reset your iOS or your Android phones. I don't know if there's instructions on how to transfer the videos, but you'll find those instructions on YouTube and you can ask somebody. But yes, people are concerned that they can't, what's going to happen with the data. Now, the people from Mobile Muster have said that they take data privacy very seriously, and they've implemented a number of safety measures to protect your data before it is destroyed in the recycling process, ensuring that it can never be accessed. And they also say they provide straightforward instructions on how you can erase data from your device in a few simple steps if you can still turn it on. So, yes, not being able to get data off the phone is a concern, but you get the help from a friend if you need to. I mean, there are paid services you can engage from Officeworks and Harvey Norman and others that can come to your house and help you do it. But somebody in your family should be able to help you to do that. And the precious metals, the gold and other precious metals in the phones actually are recycled. Now, there's plenty of legal ways of mining, but plenty of minerals are mined from countries where it's done by kids and it's quite a dirty and dangerous business. So by recycling those older phones, you do actually help that turn into a components inside of new phones. And also some of those old batteries can expand, and in theory they could become a danger. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's worth doing. And if your phone is sort of 3 or 4 years old, it probably still can be refurbished or resold or given to a family member. I mean, you should probably keep one that still works as a backup phone in case anything ever happens. But once it gets too old and you can't update the system anymore, you can't download your banking apps or other things like that, then just get rid of it. So but if you go to Mobile Muster, the way you'd spell both those words, .com.au, all the information is there. And later today, when I've had a bit of a sleep, I'll put all this information on my website as well.
Fantastic. Now, we've talked about this before, but the Neuralink brain computer.
Yes, this is from Elon Musk. Of course, Elon Musk is doing everything, launching satellites and rockets into space and putting electrodes into your brain. And we spoke about this before. The very first test was done with quadriplegic, and he could play chess and move a mouse on screen. But now, this I don't know if it's the same person, but or not, but in any case, this person can actually control the Super Mario Kart game with great accuracy and turn in different ways and shoot the little turtle shells to get the other guys off the field. And he's also able to play a game called Civilization, which is one of those role-playing games. So, for somebody who is a quadriplegic, and we don't yet have the nanobots that can repair your spine, that'll come one day in the future too. Probably Elon Musk will do that as well. But that doesn't exist yet. So to give someone like the Force, the power of the Force from Star Trek, where they can control things with their mind, that's now real. And the results coming through are amazing. Look, we don't know yet the long-term, side effects of having electrodes in your brain. But if you're a quadriplegic, there's not a lot you can do. You can move things with your mouth, a little joystick you can put into your mouth. But to have this is a bit of a lifesaver. And one day that will help a quadriplegic to control an exoskeleton that could help them to walk or make their arms move so they can eat and drink and do other things.
Wow.
So that obviously that's still yet to come, but just controlling things by your mind is now possible, and amazing, just amazing.
And I dare say that this participant would be better at playing Mario Kart than I am if I've ever played with my kids. They absolutely annihilate me. Now, I know you talk about this often, so much so they've dedicated a day for you, Alex, World Backup Day.
Yes. Now, this is one of the things I'll be covering on my TV show later tonight at 7 p.m. World Backup Day is a day that's on March the 31st. So that's tomorrow. It happens, in 2024, but it's March 31st every year. And according to the worldbackupday.com website, so easy to remember, go and check it out, worldbackupday.com, 21% of people have never made a backup. 113 phones are lost or stolen globally every minute. So imagine how many photographs of your kids and other important events and contacts are all just, lost or gone. 29% of data loss cases are caused by accident, and 30% of all computers are already infected with malware. Now, I discovered, and I've mentioned this before, that apple cider, the drink, if it's spilled onto an Apple Mac computer, it's not compatible, right? It causes the computer to go on the fritz and die. Now, that happened to me a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I had a backup. and I was able to get another Mac and transfer it all back. But if I didn't have the backup, I would have lost everything. And so there's a thing called the 3-2-1 backup rule, where you should have 3 copies of your data stored on 2 different types of media with 1 copy kept off-site. So some people have actually expanded this, and they have a copy in iCloud or Google Drive or Dropbox. They'll have a physical hard disk, like one of those 10, 15, 20 terabyte disks to hold all their data, which you can easily get from the Officeworks and JB Hi-Fi's and Harvey Normans, and they're a few $100s, but and they're slower than the SSDs. But it's good to, have more than 1 copy of your entire data. It's like having multiple photo albums in the old days, which we would have had to have paid to have those photos printed. But do that and even consider keeping a copy. Well, you can have a copy in the cloud, but some of your important data, have it somewhere else. In a safety deposit box.
I do get a little sad about this because we had a burglary a few years ago and they stole an old laptop of mine that I had not backed up properly. There were so many photos of my sons when they were babies. They stole my German passport as well, of all things. But this old laptop and it had everything on there and it was devastating. Yeah. So, well, it's not till it happens to you, I think, that you understand how important it is.
Well, once you've lost everything, you become an expert at backups, but it's all too late. I mean, as an easy way is to set and forget. If the photos are on your computer already and you don't have Google Drive or Dropbox, I mean, you can have Google Photos, but you can pay for Dropbox, you can pay for Google Photos, and just have it automatically backing things up. So, if the computer or hard disk gets knocked to the ground by a kid or a pet or stolen or burnt in a fire, whatever it might be, it'll all be up in the cloud, all be safe. So World Backup Day is tomorrow, but every day should be World Backup Day.
Fair enough. We're going to take a quick break. If you've got a question for Alex about backing up or otherwise, 6255 1206. We'll be back shortly.
Everything Canberra for your weekend. Call 6255 1206. This is the Canberra Weekender on 2CC.
Great to be with you. I'm Tatjana Clancy. We are in the middle of Tech Talk. I'm joined by Alex Zaharov-Reutt, the editor of techadvice.life. And if you've got a query for him, 6255 1206 is our number. Alex, I'm excited about this next story because I have no shame in saying I have endometriosis and I have had many invasive, painful surgeries, painful periods. It's been a nightmare. So a new app which will give women more information about this often undiagnosed condition.
Yeah, they're describing it as a groundbreaking new AI-powered medical women's health, fertility and endometriosis app has launched, and it's called Charli, Charli. If you type Charli and then put the word health in the App Store or the Android or the Google Play Store, you'll find it. Now, what this app does is it's for periods and it's for women's health issues. But what it will help you to do is especially if you in rural or remote communities, or you can't get access to healthcare or diagnostic support, this will reduce what they say is the alarming delay from onset of the first symptoms and diagnosis, which can be incredibly 6 years. It can take a long time. So here absolutely. you can gather a lot of information through the app and then take it to your doctor and show it to them and get a much quicker diagnosis and get on the path to actually being, having this treated so that you're not having to deal with this incredible pain. And so, it says the Charli app identifies abnormal patterns via self-logged data as well as information sources from wearables such as Apple Watch and Fitbit. And based on the data, the app promotes lifestyle changes and alerts the user to talk with their doctor about important reproductive conditions, including endometriosis, through user data-driven AI algorithms. So we're using technology and also the wearables to help you gather all this data and, build a case to be able to show your doctor and say, hey, I need help with this. And, it's an Australian app as well. So, fantastic stuff.
I hope that it's respected, though, in that space, because often, and rightly so, health professionals aren't appreciating it when we go to Dr. Google and, make all sorts of assumptions about our health. But I think anything that, raises awareness on this condition and, just even to have that conversation if you meet any of the criteria, because, it's a very painful condition and it's great to get on top of it early.
Well, just so that you know, this is backed by Endometriosis Australia. They've partnered with Charli app, and this is the first Australian hybrid technology and real-world period and reproductive health tracking app. And Associate Professor Anush Yadzani, Medical Director of Endometriosis Australia, and a co-founder, said the Charli app is a great solution. So it's definitely from the industry, from medical sources. It's not somebody that's just put something together. It's got the backing, and I would, if this was affecting me, and of course as a man it's not, but if it try it out, check it out. The app's free. Give it a shot.
Well, I dare say if it did affect men, then we might have had more innovation a little earlier. Apple's annual developer conference coming in June. Yes,
it'll be June 10 in the US, June 11 for us. We'll talk a lot more about this when it comes up, but this is where we'll see the beginning of what's coming with iOS 18, iPadOS 18, for the watch, for the Mac, and we'll hear all about Apple's AI strategy. Apple's been doing AI stuff for years, as we mentioned before. We're using AI right now. A few times now, there's been these very loud announcements in the airport about this or that, and hopefully you haven't heard any of them because the system is picking up my voice. But in any case, the developer conference will be in person again, although you'll be able to watch it all online, be able to watch it on YouTube. And if you're a developer or you're somebody who wants to make apps and have AI help you to make better apps faster, or you just want a sneak peek of what's coming in September when the new iPhone arrives, then definitely tune in, go to apple.com, it'll all be there. And one of the other things that's coming with iOS 18 is that if you've ever tried to send a message from an iPhone to an Android phone, or from an Android to an iPhone, and you try to send photographs and have group messages, Apple is finally accepting or going to start supporting the RCS, the Rich Character Messaging Service, that allows iMessage users can send each other group messages and all the little thumbs up and all the cool little things you can do, but Android users have been left out, and Android users can do it, but when they talk to iPhone users, it's been a bit of a mess. Well, that's all going to be sorted in iOS 18 as well, and for most people that will be a free upgrade. So good news on that front.
Fantastic. And look, I don't know, which new Samsung have I got? I don't even know. But new AI updates that will mimic the newer ones.
Yes. Now, you've got the S23,
right?
Which you got last year. So that was the one that was new at the time. You got it was new. But obviously, every year there's a newer phone, and the S24, as we've talked about, actually we may have been away at that time. But in any case, there was a whole stack of AI features. So you could talk to people on a phone call in different languages. You could do recordings of meetings and then have it automatically summarize that, or change the tone. You can make it more formal for your boss or more conversational. There's lots of little AI features for editing photos. And as of about now, the updates have been rolling out for the S23 series, all of them, and the Fold 5 and the Flip 5. And now it might take a few weeks or even a couple of months for every phone around the world to be updated. And you will have to hit the button to say, yes, I want that. It's called UI 6.1. That's the operating system that Samsung has. But you'll get those AI features too. It's not going to extend back further, but people who bought new phones last year will get that, which is something they announced, and it's starting to happen, which is great.
Can you imagine, what a boss move would it be that I've been carrying on about AI and the death of creativity, and that this whole time I've been accessing it and talking to you that way, and you just didn't know? What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, the thing is, you can. I mean, I remember we spoke about this before, but Amazon was showing how a couple of years ago you could take a few seconds of your, dearly departed grandmother's voice, so she could read bedtime stories to her grandchildren, even though she's no longer with us. And already we're seeing deep fakes. There's deep fakes of Obama and Trump and all these other people, and the quality of them is so accurate. Now, it used to be dodgy and fuzzy, but some of the examples on X, on Twitter, are just incredible. So this AI stuff is going super fast. We just have to hope it doesn't want to destroy us all in Terminator style. But the thing is, because everyone's talking about ethics and everyone's seen all the horrible movies, there's this great push to make sure that it's our helper and our friend and not going to be our master, and we're not going to be AI's pets. So, yes, you could easily be an AI construct, and so could I.
Oh, good stuff. And 3 minutes, so maybe we can touch on this though, but more on AI and its role in healthcare with a new CSIRO report.
Yes, this is called the AI Trends for Healthcare report, and it says that it identifies the opportunities and challenges facing the continued and inevitable integration of AI in Australia's healthcare sector, from clinical decision support to administrative tasks. So look, AI is going to make it easier for doctors to come to diagnoses faster. It's going to look at different scans, and AI can pick things up that more quickly that a doctor might miss. hopefully it'll help the chemist to look at the prescription and figure out what the doctor was really trying to prescribe you, because doctors famously have scribbly handwriting. But there's a full report. If you just type CSIRO Australian Health Report, you'll find it on their website. You can read through it, but a lot of information there, and AI is going to be everywhere, and hopefully help us with much better health information and decisions.
Yeah, because look, I know that some of this technology is just emerging now, but it's always fascinated me that we didn't have a kind of collective source of a lot of this data previously when we did have the capability. It's bizarre.
Well, look, there's always been those books for doctors. There was like a doctor's reference guide. And there have obviously been databases of information, but it says here a key difference between the use of AI in healthcare compared to other industries is the use of AI in decision-making for prevention, diagnosis, monitoring and treatment. And, there's newer and better digital tools to harness the benefit of AI in healthcare. And so, a lot of this has been done, but there were separate apps, separate things that wasn't connected. Now it's all connected, and this AI brain can come to decisions just, with less data, but because it identifies patterns. And then, if you're not sure about it, well, you can dig down further and get second opinions. But AI should hopefully, already they've used AI to make better cancer drugs, to make new medicines. It's the world is changing so fast. Hopefully we're still doing this show in 2030, and we'll be marveling how primitive it was and how advanced it has become in just a few short years.
Absolutely. Oh, Alex, pleasure to chat to you. Will you be back in the studio next week?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Fantastic. Alex, always a pleasure. Get back safely.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's Alex Zaharov-Reutt, the editor of TechAdvice.life, and always plenty to catch up with on his website. And if you miss any of the stories today, and he always has extra things on there, it's a great place to get some information on tech.